The Detroit Lions are in day 6 of training camp, and there's one player, a rookie, that really stood out that we've kind of been waiting to see what he can do. So before this video starts, if you're new to the channel, we make videos on the Detroit Lions and Detroit Pistons, but right now it's all Detroit Lions as we are in training camp and excited to see what happens as we really get this thing cranked up for the Detroit Lions. Really excited for this season. Let me know in the comments, which rookie are you most excited about this offseason? Or going into this season, excuse me. Sam Laporta, Branch, you know, there's so many rookies that we took, especially if you watch Inside the Den, where you're just like, oh my gosh. And of course, Inside the Den makes it look really good. And I think it was really good, but they do a really good job. If you saw that special behind the scenes of the draft. But speaking of rookies, so let me know in the comments. But speaking of rookies, Broderick Martin, our big defensive tackle that we took in the 3rd round. Many people were surprised, but in Brad Holmes' eyes, he took this big defensive tackle because A, you need defensive tackles, like always. B, he's 6'5", long arms, and a big disruptive player that they saw a high ceiling on. And remember, the long arms is really important because in the NFL, these offensive linemen, they hold you. I mean, it's not a hold, like a penalty hold, but they want to get inside you and hold onto your jersey inside your shoulder pads. So the longer the arms, the easier it is to keep these guys off. So this guy's big, long, strong. In day 6, the second day of pads, Broderick Martin sets the tone early. So if you look at him, let me go back up to the top. Here he is. It's an interesting situation because the guy played at Western Kentucky, right? And I mean, he wasn't in big time football and he's not well known, but this is where scouting and the whole deal comes into play. It's not just great players from Alabama and LSU, right? In the SEC, there's other guys out there that you can find. And Brad Holmes and the scouting team found a guy that's a massive human being that they think they can turn something into. So on the very first play of team drills, rookie Broderick Martin set the tone for the day. He punched and shed Frank Ragnow, an all-pro, one of the best centers in the league, who was sliding over to block him. Martin was in the backfield in an instant, laid a huge engulfing hit on David Montgomery, stopping him 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. This is the type of stuff we are obviously like looking for. It's tough when you go against your own team because it's like, dang it, like Ragnow kind of missed it. That sucks, but it's okay because the better news is you've got Broderick Martin, a rookie, able to get in there and make a great play. The center came to me. I struck him and shed him as quick as I could. I made sure they try to put hands on the offensive players before they put their hands on me. I was just talking about it. Long arms. Sometimes it's overblown. Sometimes, though, it's like it is pretty important to have long arms so that he can control it before Frank Ragnow could get up into him and hold on to him. Once I shed him off, the ball carrier was right there. On the next play, the offensive pair had a tight end up opposite of Hutchinson, who held up against him, set the edge, then shed him in perfect. So Hutchinson comes in. Nearly the entire first series of 11-on-11s featured big plays from the defense, which I'm really excited about because if we're being honest, our defense is something that we've really struggled with. And by the way, I'll get back to Broderick Martin in just a second, but our defense is something that's really struggled, obviously, over the last couple of years. Now we cleaned it up, got better last season, so that was great at the back half of the season. That led to us winning 8 out of 10, and we're all excited about it. But our defense just needs to be better. And Craig and I have made some videos on it, how scheme-wise we're going to be better. Personnel-wise, we're better. But if you really want to be good, you want to be good in that defensive line. That's where it's got to be. We've seen the formula with the San Francisco 49ers. They rush 4, Bosa, the whole thing. They get there with 4. You're dropping everybody else. That's how you got to do it. So to see Broderick Martin making plays is really, really big because remember, this guy, 6'5", 330 pounds. Remember, he goes to North Alabama. I mean, just nothing, right? He goes there in 2017, plays a couple seasons, then it's the pandemic, then he transfers to Western Kentucky. Nobody knows about this guy. Again, this is where scouting is so important. Who the heck knows about Broderick Martin at Western Kentucky? Nobody. But with the size and the strength and also I think it's really important that we recognize we're still in this COVID window where a lot of these guys played during COVID and things got disrupted. So it's not a traditional, I was a freshman, sophomore, college is different. COVID was in there. So there could be some diamonds in the rough that you could find. And I think no doubt we have found that in Broderick Martin. I hope, right? And again, I asked in the beginning of this video, let me know the rookie that you're most excited about. I think for me, Broderick Martin is up there for sure. And I also love Sam Laporta. And I can't believe I'm saying that about Laporta because I was like, oh my gosh, an Iowa tight end. Like, is it getting any more boring than that? Laporta is actually really good. I can't wait to see him. So I'll get to that in just a second. But Broderick Martin is a guy that we could be just like so fortunate to get because there's not defensive linemen just out there on the street to go pick up. I mean, it's hard to find these guys. So let me pull up the depth chart of the Lions. Here it is. Let me pull this up for you. So if you look at it, we've talked about it. Aleem McNeil, Isaiah Buggs, cool. But Levi's got to be there. Broderick Martin's got to be there. Be there for what? Be there to make the run that we all expect us to make in the 2023 season. Compete for the NFC North. And, oh, by the way, make a little bit of run in the playoffs and see where it goes. If you look at our schedule, it's possible that the Lions start 0-2. And that's what we're not really talking about. And it's like we have a tough opening schedule. We go to the Chiefs, very difficult, and then come home to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are good. So the reason I say that is because we need to play right out of the gates. So we need Broderick Martin. We need Levi, Benito Jones, Covington. Like, who's it going to be defensive tackle wise? Because defensive edge or golden, Hutchinson, Houston, Kaminsky, Harris, the Aquara brothers, Pascal. I mean, like, it's endless on the defensive end side, but those core defensive tackles, that's why Broderick Martin has to show out. We can't wait to see what he does as a rookie because you gotta be able to stop the run and run the ball. Offensively, I don't think anybody's concerned, but defensively, we need to see Broderick Martin be the guy that we hope he can be. It's a tall ask for a guy that's a rookie that nobody's ever heard of. I get that. But that's where Brad Holmes has excelled. He just has. He's taken these guys nobody's ever heard of, James Houston, and turned them into absolute stars. So even if Broderick Martin doesn't come out of the gates a great player, right? Let's say it takes him 3, 4, 6, 7 weeks. Fine. That's the same thing that happened to James Houston. We didn't see James Houston until Thanksgiving. Hey, I'd like to see Broderick Martin before that, but at the same time, if it takes him that long to get up to speed, it's okay. We need to just keep developing him and get him to a place where we've got a core defensive tackles that can handle enough for us to make a run. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. Love to see the Lions out there making things happen. And we'll see all of you on the next one.